Welcome to Noble Voices, the podcast where we sit down with storytellers, creators, and unsung heroes of the entertainment world who are not only shaping culture, but doing it with integrity, empathy, and purpose. I'm your host, Josh Rhett Noble, actor, advocate, occasional outlaw in a video game, and most importantly, someone who believes that noble work deserves to be heard. This first episode is going to be a little different because it's just you and me. It's a chance for me to pull back the curtain, share who I am, how I got here, and why I believe this podcast matters, now more than ever. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and raised in the tiny town of Tallapoosa, Georgia, which is historically known as Possum Snout, where they drop a possum and a ball on New Year's. That really is the truth. His name is Spencer. As a child, I was always entertaining. Some of my earliest memories were standing on the table of my parents' restaurant singing and dancing, not because anyone asked me to, just because I couldn't help it. I loved how people responded to joy, to music, and to someone being unapologetically themselves. I was the kid who couldn't stop talking, singing, mimicking voices on TV, but I was also the kid who would cry at commercials. I felt things deeply and loudly. Acting wasn't just something I enjoyed. It felt like oxygen. At age 6, I stepped onto a stage for the first time, and that was it. Game over. The bug had hit me hard. That musical was Down by the Creek Bank at my local church, and I still remember the smell of the stage, the buzz backstage, the lights hitting my face for the first time, and I was hooked. From there, theater became my lifeline. I studied musical theater and film at the University of Miami. Shout out to the Canes. And like many hopefuls, I made my way to New York City, wide-eyed, broke, caffeinated, and hungry for it. Now, if you've ever pursued anything creative, you know, that's when the real education begins. The grind of New York taught me a lot, resilience, discipline, and how to eat an entire day's worth of meals out of a bodega on a $10 budget. Over the years, I had the absolute joy of performing in over 70 professional theater productions across the country. Some of them in New York included Oswald, Premiere, and then playing Gaston in Disney's Beauty and the Beast in various theaters across the country, to Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music. I've lived so many different lives under stage lights, and I feel very blessed to have done so. And look, some of the most noble voices I've known, they've never had a Broadway marquee. Some are just regional actors who mentor the next generation. Some are crew members who never miss a cue. Some are teachers, coaches who see something in a kid before the kid sees it in themselves. As time went on, the camera found me and I started working in television film. And if theater is about projecting to the last row, film is about capturing something with a whisper, a twitch, a single breath. This transition came when my beautiful mother was diagnosed with cancer for a third time. She moved in with us in New York City, and I became her caregiver. And with that, I no longer could tour. I no longer could do regional work. So on-screen work became my lifeline, my version of escape. Shows like Law and Order, SVU, The Wonder Years, Monarch, Found, and most unexpectedly, the video game Red Dead Redemption 2. Now that one, wow, that was a ride. Literally, I got to do full motion capture for my character, live inside this virtual world, and still deliver truth in a performance. And that game changed the genre, and being part of it changed me.
Just feels like we ain't getting nowhere. It's the end of the century. It seems like we ain't much further on than we was in 65. We got company. Keep the lawman secure. They came out of nowhere, okay? Next thing I was regaining my facilities, tied up here. Please, cut me free.
Technology, performance, and narrative, it all came together. And it reminded me that storytelling is constantly evolving. But at its heart, it's still human. I'll never forget putting on that mocap suit for the first time. It's humbling. Basically, it's just a full body leotard with dots covering your face, your body, and then this massive camera attached to your head. And then somehow it just becomes art. Unfortunately, since then, we've lost my mother. And in the silence that followed, I realized I needed to tell different stories. Not just mine. Others. the quiet, strong voices in this industry who are healing people through comedy, through advocacy, through music, through their presence. I just wasn't sure what medium to feed my energy into to best follow this journey until now. And so, Noble Voices was born. This podcast is not about fame, it's about fulfillment. I want to talk to the actor who uses their free time to mentor the youth, the director building diverse crews behind the camera, the costume designer making space for differently abled bodies on set, just guests across the spectrum, from actors, directors, casting professionals, crew, educators, stunt coordinators, voice artists, and people outside the limelight who are shaping the industry behind the scenes. We'll talk about what drives them, what scares them, how they stay grounded, and we'll share laughs, hard truths, and hopefully inspiration. I'm Josh Rhett Noble, and I believe in the power of a noble voice. Whether you're on stage, behind the camera, or sitting quietly in the audience, your voice matters, and I want to hear it. So if you enjoyed today's episode, I invite you to subscribe, share this with someone who needs to know they're not alone in this journey. Follow me on Instagram at Josh Rhett Noble and at Noble Voices Podcast, and drop me a note. Tell me who you'd like to hear on the show, or better yet, tell me your noble story. Until next time, keep speaking with courage, living with purpose, and listening for the noble voices around you. Hey everyone, I am so thrilled to announce my first guest on Noble Voices coming up this Monday. It'll be composer, artist, Tony-nominated Santino D'Angelo. We'll discuss his life journey and how we ended up returning to the musical Another Happy Ending, which will be performing July 27th at 7 p.m. at 54 Below. See you there.